Hi, welcome to episode 8 of Visual Effects Shoebox, and this time we're going to be talking about self-assessment. You know, you go through these doubts and phases in your careers, and whether or not it's visual effects or any other art form, whether you're dealing with ceramics or fine art or graphic design or motion graphics or whatever it may be, any type of creative process, you'll always compare yourself to other things that you see either online, in theatres, on the screen, in galleries, whatever it may be. And you'll go through these phases of like, oh my God, I'm literally terrible. I'm no way as good as this. I'll never be as good as this. I go through it still, to be frank. I always see like other artists' work, and just some people are just absolutely astounding. They're amazing. They're just phenomenal in the type of stuff that they do, and you go through these crippling phases of A, self-doubt, and B, kind of self-analysis of one's own work, and go, wow, I'm never going to be that good. But then you go through phases also of completely the opposite. I'm great. Wow, how did I do that? That's awesome. I want to share this with the world. You go through these lulls, these peaks and troughs of I'm terrible, and then I'm all right. I'm actually not too bad. I'm pretty good. And then oh God, no, I'm terrible. Oh God, I'm terrible. And you go through these phases, these peaks and troughs throughout not only the early stages of development, but also your entire career, to be frank. And there's quite a very, very simple reason for this, and it's purely down to your ability to self-assess is offset to your actual ability, or it develops earlier, or it peaks earlier, or whatever. But just to kind of give you an idea, I'm just going to try and move some of this stuff out of the way. I'm just going to switch to the table. I'll give you a quick idea of what I'm talking about. So let me just get this malarkey out of the way, and then I can just quickly just draw you something out to give an understanding of exactly what I'm talking about. And pull this out and turn this off. And okay, let's see if I can use my coffee cup to weigh this down, and we'll have a clear picture of what I'm getting on about. Right, okay. So we've got right, okay, that one for that, that one for that. I don't know, whatever. No, that one for that. No, let's do that. Okay. Righty. So make sure I can see the screen as well. Right. All right. So we've got, let's say, a quite straightforward graph here. So we have, on this side we have time, and this side we have experience. Okay, so when you're actually starting out in your career, you tend to think that your development process is actually like, come on, give me a colour that I can see. There we go. Right, that one. To pull them in. Right, okay. Let's get this here. Right, so you think your progression is actually like this. So the more time progresses, the more experience you get as a linear growth. That's actually not true. It's been proven. I don't know by who, but I was told it, so I'm guessing it's right. It's the thing, and also kind of what I've experienced as well over my career. You go through these phases of like surges. Let's call it a surge. So you get these surges of development, all right? So you will go like, I don't get it. Oh my God, I get it. And yep, okay, I've peaked. And then I get it again. And then, oh, I got it. And then I've peaked. And then, and I get it. And you get these, growth periods of like initial phases of like, I'm just pooting along. I just realised I'm actually cutting myself out of the mirror, out of the thing here. I just pan myself across. Oh dear. We go that way, this way, this way. Let's try that. Okay, that's better. So you go through these phases of like, I don't really get it, and then I get it. +1. So I kind of get it at these phases. I get it at this phase. I get it at this phase. So, and then you have these phases of like, you're just kind of not really overly developing, but you're still utilizing the information that you've gained in this area, and this surge. So you got surge 1 here, you got surge 2 here, surge 3 here, and so on and so on. So you'll actually go through these, you know, these growth spurts, if you like. Now, that being said, you still go through these phases of like, I don't get it, I'm terrible, I should give it up, kind of thing. And there's a very simple, straightforward reason, and that's basically your abilities to self-assess. Now, I hope I draw this right, because I've drawn this once or twice before, and I've kind of not got the message across, but I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get this right now. So, your ability to self-assess is also not a linear progression. It's actually directly offset. So you will go through these phases of like, kind of like this, if I get this right. So you get this ability to assess your own work, and then you have these phases of like, yeah, you know what? I'm pretty good. So this kind of overlaps around about this region. It overlaps around about this region. So you go through these phases of, maybe it's kind of more like this, if anything. So maybe it's more like that. So you get more of this kind of region of development process of like, yeah, I get this. I get this. So you have these phases here. Joink, this craft is starting to look like a mess. You get these phases here of like this doubting process, this doubting phase. Maybe it's a little bit, depending on the person, it could be a little bit lower, it could be a little bit higher, and so on. But you get these phases of like, I don't get it, or I get it, just because this ability to self-assess develops a little bit earlier than your actual physical ability. So you go through these phases also of like, I'm absolutely awesome, when you're not really developing much, but you're utilizing the skills that during that phase that you have been developing. Okay, because you've got it. It's there. It's ingrained in your brain. You know, you've practiced. You've studied. You've failed. You've realized your mistakes, and you've progressed that way. So we all go through this sort of thing. We all go through these phases of let me just switch back here. We go through these phases of self-doubt, and we go through these phases of self flagellation, if you like, of I'm terrible, I'm not very good. No, you're not terrible. You've not got worse. It's just your ability to assess yourself has got better. That's it. Simple as that. So when you see someone else's work and you're going through the phase of like, oh, I'm not very good because this person's better. No, that self-assessment also applies to other people as well, to other people's work. You're assessing their work and you're cross-comparing it with the stuff that you've done. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're bad. It just means that they are slightly further up that development curve than you at that period of time. They will go through those lulls. They will go through those, periods in their careers and periods in their abilities to where they go through self-doubt. That every single artist, I've not known a single artist who has gone through and just gone, I'm awesome all the time. Well, actually, no, tell a lie. I've met one or two, and they're not exactly fun to be around. They can be a bit of, problematic to handle, to be frank. But you go through these phases, like I said, of this, this ability, these assessment phases, and you come out of them on the other end. That's it. It's as simple as it is. And here's the fun thing. This never ends. This development growth never ends. This ability of assessment development never ends. It will continue and continue and continue until you drop dead. To be honest, it sounds morbid, but that's the truth. Because you're artists, you're always striving for perfection. As I said in a previous video, If you look to film, for example, there's a phrase in the industry which goes like this: "It's a film is never finished; it is only released." Same can be said for art. I mean, if you give an artist the ability to constantly work on a piece and constantly develop it and revisit it and so on, they will do it. Whether or not it's in visual effects or if it's in fine art or ceramics, it doesn't matter. They will constantly keep coming back to revisit this. There's one earth shader that I built back in, oh cripes, I don't know, 98. I started it in 1998. Every few years, I'd either learn something new about how light worked from space, or from atmospheric internal scattering, or cloud penetration, or cloud shadowing, or how many different layers of clouds there were, and their displacement proportions relating to bump offsets, or whatever it may be, or how light reflects and refracts on sea and large surface volumes. So what it's looking like from space and different shallow angles, how the sunset works, how to do this rim effect that you get around the surface of the earth on the edges and so on. So I'd learn different techniques, or I'd discover something in my day-to-day work and go, oh wow, I can reapply that to this thing. So this shader that I've been working on, I still open it up every now and then and touch on it and have another go at it and tweak things, and that's been since, like I say, since the late 90s. It's now 2021. The last time I opened it must have been about 3 years ago, but it's still the same scene file. I've got all the versions still since day one. So when I hit a milestone, that's basically my milestone. I've obviously got internal ones, but then again, I still go through this development process of, I've learned something new. Yeah, that could be reapplied to this thing. Now I'm learning Blender. I'll more than likely take that entire knowledge that I've gained working with the shaders in Max and reapply it to this, for this different engine, for this different shader setup, for this different entire internal system. Can I transpose this across to that? And again, I'm seeing some shader work that some people have been doing in this November challenge, and it's like, whoa, oh my god, they're just absolutely phenomenal. I would never have thought of being able to do stuff like that. I mean, whether or not it's practical in a film standpoint of being able to just do geometry or displaced and everything, and that's just, that's, again, it's bragging rights, but it's showcasing the ability, A, of the software, and B, the skill set of the artist. So again, I'm looking at that, and these guys are like, 17, 18, 19 years old, and they've been using the software for maybe about a couple of years. I've been using this stuff for 3D software for 25 years plus. And I'm going, how on earth did somebody get their head around that? That's just nuts. So I go through those phases of self-doubt also. I watch feature films and I'm sitting there and I'm structurally, analytically breaking down, in my head as I'm seeing it, how it would have been worked. And it's just kind of, it's just phenomenal. I'm currently watching, The Expanse. And I've known some of the guys who've worked on this thing. I've known Bob Monroe, the VFX super, for about 20 years or so. We converse every now and then. I think it's been a few years since I spoke to him. I think Keyframe worked on it as well, and I've met those guys back in 2010. So I've not had chance to go around and watch it, and I've finally managed to get around to watch the thing. It's on Prime at the moment, so I'm binging. I'm going through the thing, and just the sheer amount of asset work on this show. I mean, I'm only on season 1 right now, but it's just amazing. And I'm thinking, how on earth did somebody do that? And that's the thing. It's not just one person. It's a group of people. That's exactly why you have a studio, is because a studio is bigger than the sum of the individual parts. So they can produce something that is actually jaw-droppingly awesome. because that's the purpose of coming together as a company, whether or not it's in this particular industry or any other industry. You come together as a company to make something that is bigger than the sum of its individual parts. That's it. So when you see something that's absolutely awesome, unless it's been produced by an individual, chances are it's been produced by a collection of individuals. It's by a load of people. So you have to break that down and you have to go, right, okay, all of those individual mandates that have been, and those individual experiences that have been, additively put together to develop this thing, you have to take all that into consideration when you're looking at something and go, oh, that's amazing. Because at the end of the day, it is, like I say, it's a collection of individuals who've assembled this. So when it comes to you directly, don't go, you will go through these phases of self-doubt. It's normal, but don't let it get to you, honestly. And the reason for this is because you'll get over it, and you'll get over it pretty quickly, whether or not it's visual effects, whether or not it's music, whether or not it's any other creative process of development and artistry. You will go through these phases of self-doubt. But as I've proven in the badly drawn graph, you'll get over it. And then it'll happen again. And again, and again, and again, and again. Because you never stop learning. You never stop developing. And you never stop amending your style. You never stop amending how you actually physically do something. A new piece of kit will come out. A new tool will come out. A different way of doing something. An easier way. A more difficult way, but a better way overall for you to be able to generate what you want, what's in your brain, and get it down onto another medium, be it, like I say, audio, be it big screen, whatever it may be. So that's basically what I wanted to say in about 16 minutes. That's pretty good for me. All right, I think that's it. That's it for today. Possibly might do another one tomorrow. Let's see. These vlogs are going to be, like I say, I was kind of intending to do one every single day, but based on views, I might do one every other few days or something like that, and just keep things ticking over and what have you. So we'll see. Something I'm going to say now that I've never said in the other videos: please like and subscribe. Never thought I'd ever say that. So yeah, that's it. Thanks, guys. Have fun. Take care. Be safe. Wear a mask. Catch you later. Bye.